Shabbat Shalom, everybody. This is Rabbi Stephen, Rashbi, Rab Shmuel ben Yehoshua. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're handling the heat all right and keeping well hydrated and keeping cool, doing what you can. I would also like to say thank you for those who have expressed well wishes to my wife, the Rebbitzin, who has been through a real trying surgery, knee replacement. Bone pain is absolutely the worst. I know this firsthand because I myself had hip replacement surgery, and it can be absolutely horrible. Some of the pain. It does subside as the joints get used to the new device that's in there, and they wrap around it, and it becomes part of the body, and ultimately you become a cyborg, as I like to say, or the $6 million man. And I will tell you, with today's medical prices, $6 million people, it's not that far-fetched, is it? But, when people said to her, good luck, I kind of joked. I said, why are you wishing her good luck? She's just the patient. I said, you should really be wishing the doctors good luck. And they said, yeah, that's true. That being the case, I always like to look at some of the challenges that we face in life and relate it back to the Torah, because I believe Torah is relevant and it's relatable to things that we face today. It's not some relic from the past. It's not something that is, 3,000 years ago when they used to, cut up animals and throw them on the fire and have a big barbecue, and that's how they honored Hashem. You look at the way things are today, and, you kind of apply them. So when we look at the Mishaberach prayer, the one that's said during the Torah service, and there's also a Mishaberach prayer during the week, in the weekly Amidah, when there's 19 prayers instead of just the usual 7 that we say on Shabbat. And people are really used to that because most people don't do services or go to services during the week. So we have the first 3 prayers and the last 3 that are always the same. The first 3 being Magen Avraham, Uvaked, or Ezrat Sarah, which is the progressive way, a shield of David and a shield of Abraham, Magen Avraham, shield of Abraham, and a helper of Sarah, Magen David. Sometimes it gets stuck in your mind. What can I tell you? Second prayer is Machayeh Metim, who resuscitates the dead. Now, I know the Reformed have a different take on that. They say Mechayeh Kol, who revives everybody. Being a conservative rabbi, I just have a different feeling about that, but that's just me. The third one is Hayel Kadosh, or during the 10 days of Av between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we have Hamelech HaKadosh, which is a testament to God's name, because in Judaism, your name is not who you are, but not just who you are, but it's what you are. There's an essence about your name. Then we have the last 3, which is Ritzeh, which is restoring temple service, Modima Nachmalach, Thanksgiving, and Sim Shalom, or Shalom Rav, please grant peace. So during Shabbat, we have a middle prayer, which is 3 or 4 paragraphs about Shabbat. During the weekly Amidah, we have, I got to count. Okay, 3, 4, 5, I think it's the 7th prayer for healing. Please heal us, help our suffering. And it's a prayer to God. Now, what conservative Judaism has done in their weekday Siddur Sim Shalom is they've added a little sentence to that, which basically says, and please guide the hands of the healers that are healing those who are ill. In Judaism, we have a certain element of reality that we deal with. It's not just, oh, God, heal me. All right, we want God to heal, yeah. But how does God heal? Does God just go poof and bam, you're done? Or has God created a body that is self-healing in most cases, and when it's extreme, like when you have knee problems or hip problems, or your appendix bursts, there are people that are specially qualified to be able to handle that. And in a sense, they're doing God's work by helping restoring life. So that's what I like about that prayer. And that's why I like to say that I alternate between the Art Scroll Siddur, which is Orthodox, and the conservative, which is Siddur Sim Shalom, because they both have certain things that I like. And, again, I consider myself a conservative rabbi, so I'm kind of in the middle. Okay, let's talk about this week's Torah portion. The Vaetchanan. So this is the second parsha of Deuteronomy. And it contains both the Ten Commandments and the Shema and the V'ahavta, very important pieces. Now let's look at that for a minute. The Ten Commandments, of course, are important. And there is a difference between the Ten Commandments, the version of the Ten Commandments cited here, and the one that's in Exodus when Moses first goes up to Mount Sinai and brings them down. And that is with the Shabbat. In Exodus, it's Zachor et HaShabbat. Remember the Sabbath, which is a positive commandment. Here in the Vaetchanan, which is in Deuteronomy, it's Shamor. It's guard. Why? Because the Hebrews, our ancestors, the Israelites, have shown that they kind of need some reminders. If you go through Exodus and Leviticus and part of Numbers, there's a commandment for the mezuzot to put that on the doorpost, which is repeated, which is not repeated here actually. That's the third paragraph of the Shema. But it does talk about tefillin, binding them as a sign upon your arm and putting them between your eyes. And there are 4 parchments that go into those tefillin, and we're commanded to do that every day. In fact, in the Talmudic period, some rabbis just wore their tefillin all the time. That's why you see passages of, okay, you're out on the road and, you have to relieve yourself. What do you do with your tefillin? Where do you put them? Do you stick them, outside wherever you're going? How far away? What if you have other travelers on the road that you think might steal them? All those things. But it's a reminder. And that's what it says. It's a reminder between your eyes and on your arm. The doorpost, reminder on your doorposts, the commandments. The tzitzit that we're supposed to wear is a reminder. See? So as the Israelites were complaining a lot, and because of their lack of fortitude, if you will, and they wouldn't go with what God wanted them to do, which is just take the land. They needed assurance. And then when they went in there, they kind of psyched themselves out, like, oh no, these people are big. We're like grasshoppers in our eyes and their eyes. We can't do it. This generation hasn't really had that type of doubt. But Moses, knowing that, and he says this, you are a stiff-necked people, he doesn't want to take any chances. So, and by the way, he's not making this up. This is something that God imbued to him to tell the Israelites, guard the Sabbath. Make sure you attend to it. You take that day of rest, of spiritual regeneration. And even so, how does Moses start out? Well, you tested me, and because of you, I can't, It's not that Moses is blaming them for his lack in striking the rock instead of talking to him. It's just that he's acknowledging that their complaining just got to him. After 40 years and Miriam dies, it's like, what are we going to do for water, Moses? Come on, what are we going to do? Did you bring us out here? Yeah, here we go again, right? Did you bring us out here to die? We had all the water we want. It was a big fish buffet, we had everything. And Moses is like, you tasked me and I fell into it. I gave up. I fell into it. I just kind of acquiesced to it, right? And, he just lost his cool. And he's telling them that, this is the way your parents are. And I know that, you've got the same DNA. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So you people are going to really have to pay attention. I'm not going to be here, for you to task, and Joshua is going to lead you into Canaan, and he's not going to be around forever. And Eleazar, your high priest, is going to eventually turn it over to Pinchas, who also is not going to be here forever. I mean, these people saw all this, but you folks really have to watch it. And that's what this is all about. That's why he's giving them, he's repeating his important commandments to this generation. Here's your 10 commandments. Here's your Shema. The Lord our God, the Lord is one. You people will fall into idolatry. That happened. That happened with, Zimri and, the prince of the tribe of Shimon, when the daughters of Midian came and seduced them and, said, no, before we have our good time, you got to, worship our idols. And, they succumbed to it. And Moses knows that, you're going to be in there. You're not going to have the same leadership that you have and your parents had now. So this is real important that you pay close attention and you study Torah and you know these commandments. And later on, we get the second paragraph of the Shema, which we will discuss when we get there. So we're also approaching Tisha B'Av, which is a very solemn day. Only other day, again, in the Jewish year where you do a full fast, sundown to sundown. There are other fasts, about maybe 5 of them, that are scattered throughout the year. If you drop the fill-in, you do a fast, but these are sun up to sundown. So technically, theoretically, you're only missing one meal. Anyway, we are going to have a Tisha B'Av service. I will be in the synagogue on Thursday, which is the 9th of Av. We will do a service. I will stream it. I'll send out some links. And if you want to just tune in, maybe I'll even broadcast on Facebook as well. Okay? So thank you and happy new month. It's the new month of Av now. We're coming close. We've got 2 more months. We are 2 months away from the high holidays, which technically starts in a month in Elul. We start saying certain prayers and we start paying attention. So Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for listening, and we will see you soon.